We are back on the Morning Brew with Friends, and we're back here with you. You're an old hand at this, Taylor. This is Taylor Chavez. She's been on the show several times, and Brad Woodward, and you guys are talking about the startup weekend, which is just kind of a mind-blowing thing. I don't think a lot of people realize you can actually go somewhere, build a team, and people want to be part of your startup company.
Yeah,
and that's
definitely
what happens, right?
Yeah, 54 hours. 54 hours of just work, and teams come together and they build really cool products. And
next thing you know, you have a business.
Next thing you know, you could have a business.
It's crazy, chaotic, super fun, lots of caffeine, and the energy is just fabulous.
Well, we have a video that explains a little bit about it here that you guys said it. Let's try this. There we go.
Kids these days, they don't know their limits, man. Instead of getting a job, I'm just gonna do a startup, and maybe I'll make tons of money. I'll build the next Facebook.
I mean, I think everyone has ideas. I think everyone, to some degree, is an innovator. But an entrepreneur is a person who takes that idea and acts upon it and tries to execute upon it.
So I have lots of ideas. That's the problem, I think, with most people.
Startup weekend is basically take your idea and turn it into action. And then at the end of the weekend, you pitch to a panel of judges who have either venture background, startup background.
It's either I make it really well, very rich, or I'm just gonna be broke my whole life.
It's a whirlwind, that's for sure. Entrepreneurship is surely a whirlwind like no other. It comes with the highest highs and lowest lows.
Things have changed. 2 or 3 guys with like a few $100 or $1,000 can go out there and build a product that can then turn out $1 billion company.
You think you can understand what it's like to own the responsibility for creating a business, but you can't until you actually put yourself in the entrepreneur's shoes.
Right, that's cool. So that video explains kind of where people are coming from when they're going into this. But the actual on-the-ground stuff with Startup Weekend, I think, is really awesome, right? So it starts Friday night.
Yep. Friday.
And you show up, and help me out here, because I've talked about it before, I've written about it. You show up with an idea, right? Like, I can just say, I'm going to make the best, show note paper ever, right? And I'm going to go to this thing, and people will help me do that.
Yeah, and the great thing is you don't even have to show up with an idea. There are people there with ideas, and you can join, and that's the power of it too. Is I had a friend email me a couple days ago. I don't have any idea. Can I still come? Yeah, because the people who do have ideas need your help, and so that's what's great. But if you do have an idea, you show up, you pitch it, we vote, we separate into teams, and then you go to work. You go to work Friday night, you come back Saturday, you find market testing, market validation, see if this thing is actually something that has legs. And then you go to work.
And both of you have been part of Startup Weekend successful companies, right?
Yeah.
What was yours, Brad?
So I had a hotel booking site. This is 2.5 years ago that I worked on at Startup Weekend, and we built it into a company and ended up exiting a little prematurely, but we exited and
you made money on it.
Successful. We made some money.
That's huge. And the whole team came together in that one weekend?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Is the whole weekend. And we came with a little bit of an idea, but we didn't know what it was going to turn into. And it changed, and it totally pivoted the second day.
Very cool. And Taylor, you were in one. It's a going concern here in Albuquerque.
It's still going, and it's getting tons of tractions, and I'm so proud of Trish Lopez, who's the CEO of the company. It's called Seniors. And so basically it's tech-savvy teens helping seniors. We would go to...
Or anybody, really.
Yeah, anybody, really. And teaching people how to use their technology and their phones and helping them out, show them how to go around those things.
That's very cool, and I love the idea of it. And that came out of Startup Weekend too, right?
Yeah, the women's edition, actually.
And these things, they're not just an Albuquerque thing. They're kind of a nationwide phenomenon too,
They're
right?
a global thing.
A global phenomenon.
Global. We actually just went to, in Estes Park, a leadership retreat where we had organizers from all over the country, all over the world. There were some international people.
Cool.
Came together, and we talked about how can we make our communities better, how can we make these things more successful, and we can bring that back to Albuquerque now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I know that there are people who are going to this thing with ideas for companies they want to start, and they're trying to build a team. But what kinds of team members do they need? Do they need people who can do programming? Do they need people who can do marketing? Do they need people? What do they need? What are the most in-demand skills you guys see?
Yeah, I think developers are always going to be in demand. Programmers are always going to be in demand. We actually have, proportionally, we have usually a strong development team that come to these things, which other cities don't have, and they fight over developers. So developers are always in demand. But I think anyone with any kind of skills can contribute. I mean, we have graphic designers that come in and really help to build the brand in a couple days. You know, we have lawyers and financial analysts that come in and they can work on a pro forma and really be able to pitch the money behind these things. So, I mean, I don't think there's anybody who can't help out on a team.
Yeah, very cool. Anything that a business needs, you guys also need at a startup weekend, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Any of those skills.
And there are people that the second day on Saturday, you just need market validation. So you need the person who's just going to go out there and just ask people questions.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, any of us can do that.
Right.
And that's one of the most crucial roles in the weekend.
What's the craziest startup people have ever come to one of these things with? What's the craziest idea that you were like, that's never going to work, and then it's actually like a thing that people have coalesced around?
Oh, man.
I'm sure there's some really interesting ideas.
Yeah, I mean, what's amazing is even if there are really interesting, I can't pinpoint one, but
Yeah.
even if they are, there's pivoting that happens. So people are changing and pivoting, and by Sunday it may be something completely different. And so, you know, they may come up with this. I can't even think of any of the.
It's ridiculous about what people start out with. Like, you could start with one. At the Teen Startup Weekend, actually, there was one group that was pitching a fitness app, and it completely switched to this whole program in which you would have like your grocery lists and everything set out, and it just it switched majorly
From a little idea to a giant idea.
to something completely different than what they started out on Friday night with.
Right.
And so things like that, it's just really cool to see the change.
And it's kind of a party, isn't it? Like the Friday night pitch event. It's a lot of fun because people get out there and they have their idea, and there's a whole room of 50, 60 people, and they have to stand up there and say, I got this idea to do whatever. And then it becomes kind of a fun, interesting session, right?
Yeah, I mean, the energy is really important because we're trying to, in this weekend, build this space that, you know, that helps with collaboration and innovation and, you know, a lot of things we're trying to do with downtown Albuquerque in general.
Right.
And we're trying to build this space and keep the energy high so that these ideas can thrive and these ideas can grow and change and move. And so that's really important, the energy of the space.
Very cool. Remind me where it is this weekend?
So we're going to start out at Epicenter, which is the First Baptist Church site, that building back there.
Right.
And then we're going to move.
And that's the new, it's the grand part of Innovate ABQ. And actually, the Epicenter's right. See if I can point it. It's right there. That building.
Yep, that building, exactly.
Right there. That building.
So
There
it
we
starts
go.
out Friday at Epicenter, and then Friday later in the night we move across to Fat Pipe ABQ, just right across Broadway.
Which is that building back
Yep.
there.
And we do all our working Saturday there, Sunday morning there, and then Sunday night for the pitches we head back over to Epicenter.
Great. Well, sounds like fun. We'll see you guys there. And we're going to be back in a couple of seconds with Evening Star Barron, an actress, and she's going to talk to us about her new show here in Albuquerque. Should be good. Back in a couple of seconds in the Morning Brew with Friends.
What's